So I kind of want to talk about something real quick. Um, I never hear people bring this up, which kind of gets on my nerves because it's a very big problem right now within the Georgia basketball, Georgia athletics. But um, Georgia has to beat South Carolina this year. I mean, they got to. So here's the deal: Georgia has not beaten South Carolina in basketball since the 2018-19 season. I would even like to go back maybe to 17 and 18 and see. We lost to them the first game, and then we beat them the second game. So yeah, so they have not beaten South Carolina since 2018-19. There comes a point for a first time for everything. But here, and this is why I told somebody a little while ago, you play this team 2 times a year, and you lose to them 2 times a year. So that technically means you're getting swept. They have a thing on the website where you can see the history. Here it is, history. You got to beat South Carolina at some point. Win streak. Georgia has lost 8 straight games to South Carolina. Or last top 10 matchups. Okay, that's not correct. I thought that wasn't correct. 2018-19. So 1. Oh, I'm trying to count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So they're only 13 game winning streak versus Georgia. The last time the Dogs beat them was the 2015 and 16 season. That's not physically possible. It should not be possible that you have not beaten South Carolina since the 2015 season. That's crazy. That is, if that was the football team losing to South Carolina, I'm sure everybody would be throwing fits and you know, at the University of Georgia, say, we can't have this. Well, hold your horses there, because we can't have this either. I mean, this is absolutely awful. You have not beaten South Carolina since 2015. Yikes. But I do have news that could stop most of these losses you're going to see, especially later in the Tom Crean era, where we're not close. I mean, 2019, 90 to 94, that was close. That was the game. Georgia led a little ways. We came back, and then we got in foul trouble. We almost did a full court shot that would have made it 93-94, but I mean, look, 66 to 83, 91 to 70, 59 to 83, 46 to 66. I mean, I could go on. 57, 64, 75, 77, 59 to 75. I mean, you had some games where hey, you had a chance, but then most of them were just like, that's not good. But I am here to bring good news. I think Georgia will beat South Carolina this year at least once. Of course, South Carolina is our home and home. We'll play them once in Columbia, South Carolina. Then we'll play them once in Athens. I usually don't say stuff like this, but you got to beat South Carolina. Georgia bringing in Mike White, head coach. I'm not sure who South Carolina's new coach is. I know they fired. Did they ever fire Frank Martin? Did they ever fire Frank Martin? Yeah, they did. Lenmont Paris is their head coach. So that will be his first year too. So both teams having first year head coach. He came from Chattanooga. Oh, that's very cool. That's very cool. Chattanooga had a great basketball season last year. But you got to beat South Carolina this year. I'm not I'm not, I'm not going to throw a tantrum like maybe Georgia football fans will do if they don't beat South Carolina, but we're going to have to figure out a way to beat South Carolina this year because I'm not bashing the basketball team, but 13 straight versus South Carolina, you've lost. I mean, come on now. We hadn't beat South Carolina since we had J.J. Frazier. And that was a long time ago. That was man, 2020 feels like a long time ago. So, I mean, like 2015, 16, that sounds like a decade by now. But and that wasn't even at home. That was in a neutral site. For a little while there, from 2014 to 2015, 16, you had like a 2-game win streak versus South Carolina. You're going to have to figure out a way to beat South Carolina this year. Like I said, first year head coaches, of course, Georgia brings back Cario Quindo. A few other great players we'll get into later on. Matter of fact, I won't go ahead and see today. As I'm listening to the old game in the back. Yeah, Jabari Abdur-Rahim will come back. Braylon Bridges, Jackson Eder. I don't think Bauman came back. Yeah, Bauman didn't come back, but we got new coaches. We're going to have some new players, some familiar faces as Cario will come back. Jalen comes back. So you get what I'm saying? You're going to have to use the talent you have. And I might say that South Carolina's not a good team, but Georgia will have to beat South Carolina this year in basketball. If we don't, man, I'm not sure I could take 15 straight. I'm not sure. That's a very hard number to choke on when you play them 2 times a year. So that's all I just want to talk about. I mean, basketball season, we're almost here. You can start getting more basketball content. Along on Aqua Blue Rim, you'll be getting Georgia Southern basketball. But we're mostly going to stick to football on that until basketball season actually comes. But on this, I mean, this is nothing but Georgia basketball and other baseball, gymnastics, soccer, hockey. So you're going to be getting more Georgia basketball. We're going to have old games. I actually got a game versus South Carolina planned to do. Georgia plays Missouri in football this week, so I tend to have a old Georgia basketball and maybe the 2012 game versus Missouri as classic programming. But also just want to note Georgia soccer has moved their game versus Alabama. They'll be playing Thursday. I think I read it 7 or 8. So this hurricane is coming up. This is no joke. People especially, I feel awful for the people in Florida. But yeah, we'll end it here. Prayers out to people in Florida. Let's go Hoop Dogs.